Welcome back, everybody, to the Halo podcast. I am your host, Noe, and welcome back. I know it's been a long time. I think it's been a couple weeks since the last episode, yet again. And yeah, just as a senior, it's coming up. Finals are next week. It's kind of hard to get done with a lot of work, so I've been kind of busy with that. But this is going to be the last episode for this semester. I feel a bit sad, but I am not here alone. I have Andrew here with me, and then I have our new elected marketing media director, Nayeli. How are you doing?
I'm good. Excited to be on my first podcast episode. Kind of sad it's the last one though, but
I know. I trust that you will have good things coming for the podcast. But yes, this is going to be the last one. We're just going to do a recap. Nothing crazy here of all the things that we've done for the students, for the school, and for ourselves as well. And yeah, we're just going to do a recap, starting off with some of the events like the barbecue. But before I do, I want to see, like, how are you guys been? How's finals coming up for you, Andrew?
Yeah, so I'm a political science major. Shout out to like the 200 of them at K-State. But and because of that, a lot of my finals tend to be papers. So I'm getting that done. I have one final coming up, and it's like geography 100. Watch me say it's light, and then I get a 70 or 60. But no, I'm excited for the end of the year. I mean, it's a weird feeling, right, when you're graduating.
Yeah.
New chapter. I mean, it's just. I'm very blessed to have been able to come to K-State, do all the things that I've done. And, I try not to get too sentimental about it because, I'm still here. I still got another week. But just finished up my last class today. I was like, shoot.
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. But I'm going to go to law school, so it's like I'll be back in academia and that sort of stuff. I'm not super psyched for that, but, it'll be a fun summer.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. I had my last class, too, and some of the students were like, this is going to be the last time I'm going to be a student in here or something. Because some are also graduating. And, like, you know what?
Gonna make me cry.
I haven't had that feeling yet, but I think once I walk the stage, it's probably going to feel another way. But how about you, Nayeli? How are you doing?
So I'm a first year. I don't have those feelings. I mean, it's like, for me, it's kind of just surreal because, like, I feel like I just graduated high school still, and I'm about to go on to my second year. And, like, this whole experience, it just kind of low-key felt like it was a summer camp. Like, I would sit in my dorm, and I'm just like, wow, I wonder when my mom's going to come pick me up.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah.
Gotta cook for yourself. Gotta, figure out what you're gonna do during the day. I remember my freshman year and like that being like, I wanted to fill my time as much as possible because having that free time was so different. Everyone deals with it in a different way, I know. And some people are used to it. Some people have been away from their family a lot. I hadn't until I went to college, and so probably similar to
Back in high school, I did a lot of summer camp, like college things. So I would always be at a different university during the summer. So I was kind of used to it, but like it felt different not being there for like a month and being there for like a year or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I transferred from a community college, so it's kind of weird because I've been in college technically 5 years. So because I know a lot of people go straight to uni after high school, or some people kind of just maybe take a bit longer on their associates. But no, I can relate to some of the things you're saying. You guys have any plans for the weekend? I'm assuming studying, but I still ask.
Right. That's all I'm gonna do. No, I'm definitely planning on going out on Saturday. It'll be my second to last weekend, so I gotta, do all the good things. Go to Tate's, do some Latin dancing.
All right.
And yeah, I think honestly, it's just I got the senior thesis. It's kind of kicking my ass right now, but I know it'll get done, and I know I'll put some time towards that. So really, it's just those two things.
Nice. What about you, Nayeli?
I should be studying, but I'm probably not going to, realistically. I do plan on going out, hanging out with my friends. We're celebrating one of my friends' birthday.
Heck yeah.
If she's listening, happy early birthday, Michaela.
How old are they turning?
19.
Okay.
Yeah, 19.
Nice.
I remember when I was 19.
Back in my day.
Wow, recording with some dinosaurs here. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why people say like 23, 24 is old. Like I remember like I met a person a while back and it's like, you know, when he heard my age, he was like, "Damn!" I was like, "All right, well,
It's like
I'm not
the Kevin Hart clip.
literally. It's like
No,
I'm
I
still
can't.
young in my prime, and I don't know. I guess like the people that are younger than you, if like you're 2 years off, they're like, okay, you're pretty old. Like come on now.
Unfortunately, I'm guilty of that.
No, I'll say when I was like sophomore, junior, I always like hung out with like seniors and such, and I would say like, I'm like, you're so damn old, bro. Like, get a job when you gonna retire, all that stuff. But now, like, everyone's doing that to me because I was doing it to everyone, bro. I deserve it. It's karma, you know.
Yeah, it's karma.
But you'll get old one day. Trust me.
Not today, though.
Not
so.
today. Not today.
I'm chilling.
All right, look, I'm hearing like common things like going out, having a good time from both of you.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's good. I might as well be doing that, but
Very nice.
gonna do that in a different city. But all right, it's good. Let's go ahead and get into the recap. So we started off with the barbecue we did with Ship. Did you guys remember that? Were you guys there? I think you guys were there. I'm pretty sure.
I wasn't there.
Mhm.
But
Oh, okay.
I heard good things.
Why weren't you there?
So I'm an architect major. I was probably in studio,
Mm.
you know,
Okay.
grinding, working, probably sleeping in studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how was it for you, Andrew? The one that was there.
I was
Okay.
there, but I was guilty of leaving early because I had some other things that I had to do. But I remember it was a great time. I don't know. It's nice to do those kind of collaborations with different groups that also kind of have that multicultural lens to it, right? Like I would never meet anyone from Ship outside of like those sorts of things. Engineering building so far from Calvin, all that stuff. But no, I thought it was great. The food was good. I had a good time. It was fun.
No, yeah. There was quite a few people because that was like the first event that we kicked off,
Right.
and so I think it's always like the first few ones, the beginning semester, where like you get the most outcome, right? So a lot of students from a lot of familiar faces and new people. But no, yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. It was a good time. A lot of some good food.
Oh, for sure.
Good food.
You could always depend on Halo making good food.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
one thing.
yeah. If anything, at least they come for the food, right? But no, yeah, it was. That's a good way to start kicking off. And then we had, after that, a little bit the scavenger hunt meeting, and that was really popular because the way how it went for those listening, if like we kind of separated the groups into smaller groups, and they kind of had prompts of where, like, take a silly photo next to like Willie, like in the Union, right? Or
Yeah.
go find like a note that's like hidden in like the library or something. And like common thing is like they had to take pictures like when they accomplished or did the prompts that they got before we let them into the wild. And a lot of people liked that event. That was a really good one. I had a good one. A good time over there. How did your team? I forgot which team won. Did you remember? The
My
that
team did
won?
not. I remember that. I remember being a little mad because we were the team that went to the library, right?
Yeah.
Had to do a little ballerina pose. It was really fun.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, guys, like, all right, we gotta get out of here, go to the Union, right, and
Uh-huh.
be the first team.
Mhm.
And then we get outside of Hale, and there are people sprinting towards the Union. So obviously my competitive nature got the best of me, and I started sprinting too.
Yeah.
The rest of my team wasn't. So,
Yeah.
and it was until the last player on your team got to there. So I think we finished third or something, but that team didn't even win. I think there was another team that was already there. I was like, great, all that running and sweating for
That
no
was my
reason.
team.
Well, there you go.
We got second place. I think, if I remember correctly, it was Israel's teams that got first.
Okay.
I was
Cheater.
my team. Yeah, that's what we said. Because they had to go far, and then they made it back in first place. Like
Yeah.
someone drove.
No.
That's
no.
my theory. I should have won. Me
Oh.
personally.
Oh, well, all right. I know when I saw the running, I was like, all right, well, I guess we're doing this. I was like, I ran not knowing what I was running for. I was just like, all right, like I had a feeling somebody was already there before we got back.
It's like that thing when you're like out on a walk and you see someone running, so you run with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we
Right.
posted the aftermath of like what happened that day after, and those were some good pictures people took. I think the one that was like take a picture upside down, and then it's just, I mean, that was pretty easy. You just put your
Oh my God, that was mine.
oh okay.
No, funny enough, we actually struggled for like 3 minutes trying to figure it out.
Were you thinking of like actually like?
Yeah, we thought we had to actually be upside down.
Yeah, that's
and
a
we're
trip.
like, wait.
You gotta do a timer on the camera. Yeah, that would have been really impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't. We low-key took the picture right side up and then flipped it in editing. But
Right.
Yeah, and then there was one where I forget which team was it, but I think it was like take a family photo, and then that was like a very, I think they took it of like the very top floor where the piano is,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's where they took that family photo. But no, it was interesting to see like how the people kind of went about of like making those prompts and taking pictures. But that was a good turnout for that event for sure.
I remember pretty vividly, like, because I was pretty much only freshmen. Maybe I had like 1 or 2 sophomores at my team. And so they were like asking me where things were. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, wow. Like, because they were asking, like, oh, like from the Union to Hale, like, what's the best route? And I'm like, I literally do that route. I've done that route so many times, just not thinking about all that stuff. And like, where's the grand hall or the grand room in the Hale? And I was like, guys, you guys don't know where that is, you know? But I think that's what like kind of makes. I hope that event like happens next year, because that's like one, you're doing all these like kind of goofy things, but you're also like kind of exploring campus with these other individuals in Halo. I thought it was really well done. I had a great time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. That was a good meeting for sure. And then another meeting we had went over some representation of like the Hispanic and Latinx communities. I don't know if you guys remember that event, but I think we tried to get some events to where it put spotlight into things that maybe weren't talked about enough. So like, stereotypes in like films, movies, right? Of like even like the actors themselves portraying someone that they're not, like they don't look like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that was Maria led that meeting, and yeah, that was really, I think it was really important to make sure like those things are kind of talked about, because misrepresentation, that's like not how it should be represented in a way of like that's not how we look like, right?
Mhm.
Like it's a bit different than what they kind of depict in films and stuff. But what did you guys think of that meeting?
Yeah, that was the meeting I realized Rick from Rick and Morty was Hispanic. I didn't know that. Rick Sanchez. Like, it makes so much
Yeah,
sense,
like
right?
I remember hearing that, and then I was like, wait, but Beth is like white.
Right.
That was my whole thing. I'm like, I can believe Rick being like Hispanic, with the
Yeah.
Sanchez, but like, ain't no way Beth is Hispanic.
No, right. I remember that really vividly, and then I remember, we were talking about like Gloria from Modern Family, how like she kind of represents like the really loud Colombian type of stereotype, and how they kind of use that as, and how she expresses like in interviews and stuff, like they made her do some pretty uncomfortable things that she wasn't okay with, but at the time she was getting paid, and it was kind of like this whole thing of like, just do it to get your paycheck and get the episodes done and like follow this framework, right? I think eventually, and I don't know, I watch Modern Family, so I watched all the way through, and I think eventually like they kind of come around to like having more of a better dynamic in terms of like dealing with that, but definitely like in like the first, like her introductions and all that stuff, like that was like her character was that stereotype. Like I don't know, that felt kind of weird to look back on it, because I remember seeing that show when I was younger and not identifying that, but then probably that putting some sort of implicit bias in my head in terms of what my expectations are when, when I meet a Colombian, or like, that kind of like loud type of stereotype that is oftentimes given to like female Hispanics in the Hispanic community. So
Yeah, I really liked that meeting because it did bring like to light of all of that, like growing up and seeing that on TV. There was very little like even Hispanic representation. I remember when I was a kid, I thought I was gonna spontaneously turn white when I got into high school because that's just what you see, right? And then like having to follow and try to fit these stereotypes because it felt like that's what you're supposed to be. It was like weird, but like hearing it talked about in a meeting, like I felt like a lot of people could like relate to that, and at least I want to say at least 5 people left with like some new knowledge and understanding.
Yeah. I think a commonality of a lot of people when they went to that meeting, it's like they didn't realize some of these films or movies that they liked as a kid or grew up with turned out to be like you mentioned, like, oh, like now after this was brought up in a way I didn't think about it, like, okay, that makes sense, right? But yeah, I think that was a good event nonetheless to kind of bring for the students. But a while or a little bit after that, we had our Latin night event. Andrew, I know you had a good time. I saw some of the photos were taken, and you were in quite a few of them. What did you think of that?
I had a great time. No, I think my favorite part of Hispanic culture is the dancing. I grew up, obviously my mom's white, my dad's Ecuadorian, and so like the way that I really saw my culture was like through music. My dad would listen to like Selena. He had like his own kind of like guitar-esque type of music that he would play, like acoustic stuff. And I just remember when I was younger, hanging out with my abuela and my abuelo, and like, we dance and like do that type of stuff. And obviously, probably not the best dancer, right? But I think it's just the fact that this music was going on, especially at this event. I know bachata a little bit, I know cumbia, right? So dancing a little bit, and then like we got in a circle. I remember that. Dude, great time. Like I love to dance. I think that I will say like probably, and this is maybe not a thing I should share, but when I'm sober, definitely harder for me to get into the music as much as I am. But I remember I went to that event completely sober, and it was just like awesome to see so many people dancing, sharing all this like kind of stuff, like just to dance, man. I mean, it's an art, it's a beauty,
Saying you went completely sober makes it seem like you don't go sober most of the time.
No, I when I dance, ever since I've turned 21, of course. No, but I went to that. I think it was like it was at like 7 p.m. or something on a Friday night or something, and I've never been in the Union at that time.
Yeah.
Just to fill it with Hispanic individuals, Hispanic music, beautiful.
Yeah, no, I was not able to be there unfortunately because I had to work. But no, I can see after the pictures taken off, it seemed like it was a great time, and it looks like I definitely missed out for that. But no, I agree with you, Andrew. I think dancing is like one of those things you can do and get lost. Like it's just a way to bring people together for sure. Like Latin music, dancing. Like I don't know what better way to kind of get people like get that energy going. For sure.
Yeah. I tell my non-Hispanic friends, I'm like, listen, when we go to Tate's or something for Latin night, like you don't have to be good at dancing to dance. You just dance, and maybe you'll see someone dancing well. Maybe you try to imitate them a little bit, and maybe you come with your own dance. But it's like, bro, if someone's looking at you making fun of you because you're dancing and they're not dancing, bro, come on now. Like
you mostly just go for the vibes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And we're grown. Like what is this? High school prom? Like I'm not gonna see none of these people no more. So But yeah.
I will say the only thing I feel like could have made it better was if there were free drinks. Because after dancing for so long, it's like I was so tired and I did not want to buy a vending machine drink.
Yeah, no. Water would have been helpful.
Yeah. No, I you know what? I think this reminds me. Let me know what you guys think on this take. I think the dance floor is meant and only should be meant for people that are going to dance.
Yeah.
I think that should be standard and it should be a thing. I look, hear me out. It's like you don't need to know how to dance. You don't. Like you can literally just move your body to the rhythm and beat. Like you don't need to do like known dances like break dancing or cumbia bachata. You don't need to do that. You just move your body cuz it's like, like I'm sure you guys seen people like in the bars or on dance floor like where they just got their drink and they're like swaying like a signpost when the wind's
I don't
moving.
Go to bars, but yeah.
Or like you see that kind of depicted in films and stuff and such, and it's like it kind of just like ruins the vibe a bit. It's like come on, like you got to get moving and grooving. Like the minimal. The audience, people listening can't see this, but like look, this is like the minimal. Like you got to be moving like this.
Or like,
but
even
no,
like,
it's like this. No,
that's
like this
weird.
this is nothing. Like I need you to move up and moving and grooving.
Right.
I know it's a wild take, but I stand on that very hard.
No, sometimes when I see it, I wish there would like be those like giant hooks that you see on screen to like yank someone off the stage. That's what I feel like should happen sometimes.
Yeah. No, but yeah, you don't even know how to dance.
What cracks me up sometimes is and like again, do your dance, right? Like the song "Teach Me How to Dougie," but when I one time I was at Tate's and like someone was doing like Fortnite dances like in the middle like during like Latin music, and I was like, you know what, bro? At least this guy's dancing.
Yeah,
it
works.
Yeah, right. And he was doing it all. I was like, I just thought it was super funny. I was like, for some people, that's if you need to do a Fortnite dance, do a Fortnite dance. Yeah, it's better than just swaying.
What dances was he doing?
You know, like the default dance. I don't know if you guys play Fortnite much, but it's
Yeah.
like they do a clap and then they.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
one. They were doing that one.
We could have like a video show and we could just have Andrew like.
I'm weirdly really good at that dance, so don't make me.
No, I am secretly trying to learn how to do the Dougie because I don't know how to do it. It seems really fun every time the song plays and like
Or it's hype.
yeah, it's like I need to like do it because everybody else does it around me. Like I know I got to do it on the dance floor too.
I
But
feel
no-
like when you're learning how to like dance a specific dance, it feels weird doing it around people that already know how to do it though.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's especially apparent. I know we're kind of getting off topic. Especially apparent in country dancing. When you're doing line dancing,
Yeah.
holy crap! I it was like a month ago. I went and we were at Dogs. Never going back. I don't really like country music that much, but like I was doing the dancing and I was just running into elbowing people. I'm a bigger guy, so like if I miss one step, I'm falling to the girl behind me who's like 5'2", 120 pounds. I'm like, oh god, So yeah, there's times to dance when it's an organized dance that can be pretty intimidating. But just
Yeah.
throw yourself in there, and then if you start screwing it up, then just get out of there.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
No, I get you. But no, that was a good event nonetheless. And then we had after that our mental health GPM. Now this one I was in charge of making and getting all the things, and with some help, got some speakers to speak on that night, and I was one of those said speakers. But no, I just
Wow.
think mental health. It's like it's really something that's not talked about enough, right?
Mhm.
Especially because like we're I think as students we kind of struggle with that. It's like kind of with exams and stuff like that, and a lot of stuff that we're also involved in, like work and other commitments we have. And yeah, I think that was a good event nonetheless. And I would hope that what people kind of took away from that is that it's like they just like you can't be like a student or anything else if you're not taking care of yourself. It's like there's only so much you can do, right? Some people kind of keep pushing and grinding. Maybe for whatever reason they don't want to like focus on themselves, but I think at some point like your body just kind of tells you like, hey, like there's something's wrong here, like you got to do something. So I think and I think some did take that message for sure. We had some counselors from, I believe it was like CAPS or Lafine that came
Mhm.
over and spoke about some of the resources for the K-State for students. And you can, for the ones listening, you can check that. The episode is still out. But yeah, I think it was like a good way to kind of a reminder, right? Because
Yes.
especially within Hispanic Latinx community, like that's not really talked about enough, right? Especially with like the older generations, like our parents and our, grandpa, grandma, like, they didn't really have someone to tell them, like what mental health is or to take care of yourself because their environment like didn't allow them, right? But times are changing. It's getting better, but I don't know. I think there's still a lot more work to be done. But I think you kind of touched on like even the mental health crisis that's going on in the U.S. of how that's kind of still going about, right? But what did you guys think about that mental health meeting?
I liked it. I learned a lot of the different opportunities or like options that there were available on campus. I feel like that's definitely a meeting we should have again next year because like as a freshman, I was still learning about everything. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to find resources. And like hearing the counselors come in and talk, it was like pretty eye-opening, like, wow, campus has this. And like, again, yeah, especially in the Hispanic community, you don't hear it talked about enough or at all. I know some parents are getting a little more like open to that idea, but for the most part, it's not talked about at all. It's like if you have an issue, oh well, you can't tell anyone about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think three things, right? The first thing that comes, listeners, right? You get 10 free mental health visits at Lafine every semester. Comes with your student service fee. Like, please utilize it. I think that going and like getting counseling is a really tough thing for a lot of people because they don't want to admit to themselves that they are struggling, right? But ultimately, like I know so many people that have mental health counseling and have therapists, but they're completely fine. Like they just want to kind of examine and make sure like these negative thoughts and negative things that they're doing and trying to better them, get better exercises and stuff in order to deal with negative thoughts or to deal with maybe negative attributes that they don't like about themselves, right? Two, I've struggled with my own mental health, right? Like, I think that there's a lot of people that probably have and haven't talked about it. And I think that in a meeting like that, like, people can be vulnerable and, like, be able to express all of these really, really heavy topics, which I think brings the community closer together, right? And the third thing is that, like, obviously in the Hispanic culture, it's different even, than, especially, as a Hispanic male, right? Like, it's you don't want to seem weak. You don't, this mental health stuff, just focus on getting your money up and, all that stuff like that. And it's like, well, there's an essence there, right? That if you're sacrificing your own well-being towards these certain goals, then at which point are you going to, start enjoying life, right? At which point are you going to realize that we are all just going through it, one time, right? We only have one experience. And, like, even if, like, I remember my parents telling me this, they were like, we're going through life one time too, right? Like, they don't know everything. No, not everyone knows anything. You're not supposed to know everything when you're 18, right? And when you come to such a different place in college like that, it could definitely make you succumb to certain mental health issues that I think need to be talked about a lot more. Yeah.
No, yeah, you touched on a point, Andrew, about therapists or like people being hesitant to reach out to a therapist, and I think because of like still like the stigma that kind of goes behind of like, of like what the people that we're surrounded by have kind of made us believe of like, oh man, like you go to therapy or something, like, oh, something must be wrong or that person is not right, right? And it's like, if you think about it, like every one of us has problems like we're going through. It's just like not everybody's just so vocal about it. But I think it's like, how can you know that it's not like nonetheless a tool for you to use like counseling or therapy if you never try, right? It's like you can take people's opinions and say like, oh, it didn't really work out, or maybe don't do it. It's like, I think you won't really know until you just do it. You just commit to it, and if it works out, cool. Hey, you're getting better, right? And if not, then all right, then move on to something else. There's a lot of people journaling, right? That's a good way to write down your thoughts down, or do voice memos, or exercising, right? Doing that, like socializing, things like that, to kind of basically meeting your basic needs and necessities, like eating a healthy diet, right? Getting enough sleep, like I think doing that, maintaining those things is a great way to kind of go about the process of like bettering, maintaining, managing your mental health. And yeah, it's like our parents, like my parents never really taught me anything about mental health. They, I don't even think at some point they kind of believe the concept of mental health is, right. And it's just like, and it's not their fault because it's their first time living life too, right? Like they make mistakes because like my parents, they immigrated here to the U.S. at a young age. And, I just can't imagine like around that time of like years ago, this was like early 2000s or a little bit before that, that like how life was here in the U.S. And then it's like, having to come into a country where you don't even really know much of, the language or, the area, and like literally daily, like having to, go through, you don't know what's going to happen, right? In doing that for years, right? For a future, having a dream of having kids, right? Which, that's when I came and my siblings came. And it's like, yeah, like I don't, I don't blame them for like how they kind of went about teaching me and my siblings about, living life. But I don't know. I think it's like, it's different times. There are, more people are now starting to kind of vocalize about it. More of the older generation is starting to recognize. But I think, yeah, I think it's a really common thing in the community that it takes a while. If not, maybe sometimes they never get the concept of like, oh, you really got to take care of your mental health and stuff. But no, yeah, I think that was a good event nonetheless that we had for sure. And yeah, I hope the next exec team continues that theme. And yeah, and then that was it for the fall semester for the majority. We had a couple of meetings. We had volunteering opportunities for people that wanted to get some points to go to Ushley, which unfortunately didn't happen this year. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good a way to kind of end the semester, because of course this took place in November, the mental health meeting. So I think that was like a good date of like November, like final final coming up, like getting ready. So I think that was like a good time to do that event, because students start to get really like, oh god,
Yeah.
once like finals and stuff like that starts coming up, you just get in the loop of like you're distracted and you got so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like what did you guys think overall of like what we did for the fall semester? How did you guys think of that just overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was great. As like the membership and recruitment director, I was able to get my interns. Shout out, Nayeli. But I was able to get my interns establish a legacy program. That was really awesome. I think I mean like we had that one event with SGA with the volleyball, which I
Yeah.
know like not a lot of Halo members showed up to, but we had a good presence there, able to kind of interact with other multicultural student organizations. I think that's like a really great opportunity to do that. And yeah, no, I felt like the fall was pretty good. I was like applying to law schools and all this stuff then, right? So like it felt like a really busy time, and I remember that mental health meeting kind of like slowing down, being able to just kind of relax and not, amp myself up so much. That kind of was a little reminder for me to, like let's maybe get like at least 7 hours of sleep every night. Maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't always get it.
Well, for me, it was a really, really fun introduction to Halo, seeing what it was about. I got to be an intern. It was a blast. It was cool seeing how the organization worked behind the scenes. I would definitely recommend being an intern to anyone listening. Just
Shout
saying.
out.
Hey,
Just
listeners,
saying.
there you go for next school year coming up, being an
Just
intern.
saying. But
Talk to Daniel.
yeah. It was cool. I got to learn what each position was, what I wanted to do. Got to do mentors. Thank you.
Of course.
It was fun seeing what the club was about, and then it made me really excited for it to start up again second semester.
Yes, second semester indeed. We started off with the Yonosabo GBM, which kind of went over like that thing that happens within the community where like Spanglish, right? It's
Yeah.
kind of looked upon, or like you know some people that are coming up that like they don't know the language, like how to speak Spanish, but they have heritage like Hispanic, either from Ecuador or Colombian or Brazil, and there's like some stigma that's like, oh, you don't speak Spanish. It's like are you really like Hispanic? Are you really
Mhm.
Colombian, Mexican? And because that even within like the close tight knit communities, it's like that we have smaller, even because Manhattan is kind of like a little bit smaller compared to like Casey or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
So I think so. I think hey, when I came off topic, when I came to Manhattan, I was like, oh, it's a bit college town. I'm like, oh, okay, it's gonna be big. And I got there and I was like, oh, this. All right, well, this is basically Olathe or, Overland Park
Right.
kind of size.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, but no, going back, no, yeah, I think that was an important meeting that we wanted to go over because again, just touching on some things that are not talked about enough. But what did you guys think about that meeting?
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest, like that's something that's very prevalent in my life, right? Being half white, half Hispanic, right? Like the No Sabo stuff kind of comes up a lot when I'm speaking Spanish with my relatives. I'm not speaking as well as my dad's side of the family, and when people are we're celebrating different cultural events and different things that maybe I didn't have as much of a connection to when I was growing up as they did, right? But I think like ultimately that needs to be talked about, right? Like it is a diverse world out there. There's a lot of different types of Hispanics, different types of people from different countries, but with different ethnicities, with different backgrounds, right? And I remember, I don't know, it was like last year, but I was in the Spanish class, and like, obviously, using my Spanish, I think my Spanish is pretty good, but, a girl came up to me, white girl, and she was like, hey, like, like I noticed your last name, Navarro, right? Like you're Hispanic, right? I was like, yeah. She's like, so you're No Sabo, right? Because like you're in this class. I was like, I was like, that's a crazy thing to say. I was like, I guess, kind of. I don't know. I didn't really stick up for myself then. But I think if I could go back, I would probably say that's probably not. You're probably not in a position to say that, but I mean, realistically, that is kind of the, what that meaning was kind of getting at is that like. There's this thing that you're either fully Hispanic or fully not, rather than you were born with the genetics of being Hispanic, right? Like that's how you're Hispanic, right? And it's whether it's shown in your culture, shown in the way you talk, shown in the way that you act, I think is different for everyone. And so No Sabo is kind of a part of that now. it's not the best thing to be called, or it's not the best thing to form your identity around, but like it's a good thing to kind of realize and talk about, because I think that there can be a lot of like imposter syndrome, especially for myself, like growing up in a predominantly white area. I was like, oh, I'm white, and I came here, I was like, there's this halo, I was like, I've never really looked at the Hispanic part of myself as much, and then like literally through Halo I've gotten to see so many different cultures and so many different things outside of my own, and so I think that was a really cool drama. Sorry, that was a little rant, but
No,
like,
no, you're good.
no,
You're
but like
good.
really, it was a good general body meeting. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a completely different side of this.
There you go.
I grew up from a small town. Kind of back to the original topic. My town is like, I looked at in a map the other day and I found out my town is actually smaller than campus. Campus
that's
itself.
crazy.
So Manhattan to me seems pretty big, but I come from a small town and it's mostly Hispanic population, which is weird for Iowa. But so I grew up being able to speak Spanish my day-to-day life, and for me it was more of like having to learn English, and I had to like learn that Spanglish because it was like the only way I could like match up English to Spanish for me. So it was, I know Spanish and I speak it primarily, but I sound like I don't know Spanish sometimes. But so it was like, it was weird. And then to hear it like be talked about in the general body, it was like, it wasn't something I personally related to that much, but I could definitely see a lot of people that attended that meeting had a way to relate to it in one way or another.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will like make first impression judgments just based on like like your parents, like just because you're a different like skin color, like they're like, oh, okay, well this person probably doesn't speak Spanish, let me go talk about someone that's more darker, and even like someone that kind of for lack of a better word, like even what a Hispanic is supposed to look like, they're like, oh, like let me go to them, and they're like, oh, I don't speak Spanish, I don't know why you're coming to me, so and so. Even there's that kind of thing that kind of happens too with some people. But no, I think I think if you know Spanish or not, I don't think language is, it doesn't identify your ethnicity, your identity. I think it's, there's so much more than that, with the history of like your family and stuff. But no, I think that was a good thing that we could bring up and hopefully continue to do in the next academic school year for students. And then we had our Halo Pilo fundraiser. I think that was a really success. Andrew, I think you can talk a little bit about, some of that.
I still have shaving cream in my ear. No, dude. I mean, it was like one of those things, and I remember like when Edwin asked me about it, and it was like, I've never, had to do a fundraiser like that, getting pied in the face, right? But I was like, I'm a senior. It's my second semester. I want to raise money for Halo. And I know, quite a bit of people on campus involved in different groups, and I'm like, I know a lot of people who want to pie me in the face. So, yeah, it was great. I mean, as good as you can have, in that situation, but like just being able to see the support, whether it was like Brady, right now the student body president, coming in and pieing me, or if it was, my friend Vincent, who like, he's just an engineer, he's my roommate, but he came through. Like, you see so many different people, and especially with the other participants, you saw their circles kind of coming in, pieing. I think we raised like some $400 or something from that. But it was really fun, and like just to be out there in front of the union. I saw the provost Mendez, and I was like, it's like, hey, you want to pie me in the face? He was like, he ended up donating money. He was kind enough not to do that, but I thought it was like doing it right in front of the union, and probably a lot of people who I don't know saw my face with, shaving cream on it, and now I maybe I hold a special memory in their heads now. I don't know, that weird guy that had a bunch of shaving cream dripping.
Oh yeah.
from him. Yeah.
They just don't know your name, but they know you as the shaving cream guy.
Right.
I found the marketing video for it really funny. When it was posted, I think I watched it and sent it to like 3 of my friends for like a solid 5 minutes, just laughing at it. It was really funny. And then I would see it like posted throughout. I personally couldn't go because I don't remember why, but I had something. I was back at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing it online. I'm like messaging my friend. I'm like, did you pie anyone? It was really funny to see on social media. I wish I would have gone to the event. I feel like it would have been a lot funnier to see in person.
Oh yeah, I was there and I did some pieing myself, so that was very nice for me to get some of that
Who'd you pie, if you
energy
don't
on.
mind me asking?
Maria and Braulio.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just boop bloop.
I remember, I think it was Veronica. She bought like 20 pies or something, and she was just going off on Edwin. Man, I was
Oh my
like,
Oh.
god.
it's like this poor guy. He's just getting pie after pie after pie, and then like she like looked at me. She's like, "Oh yeah, like I'll get you later." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she has like 10 more pies left."
Well, he was the captain. He has to go
Yeah, I
down with
know,
the ship
right?
or whatever.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I think that was a good fundraiser for us, and then, yeah, we had a good turnout. A lot of shaving cream. Definitely seems like it took off some hair on Andrew for sure. Um, but no, yes, I don't know. I think we need to do more of those because I think even people that were even just passing by the union, like they were like, "Oh, look."
We had some randoms that just pied us.
Yeah,
I was
like,
like,
hey,
I have no
let
clue.
me do
Thank you.
this. It looks fun. I want to partake in some of that. Yeah, and then one that I kind of want to go over to a meeting we had is the intern takeover. Nayeli, I think you can talk a bit about this. But yes, we had our interns kind of basically, yeah, take over a GBM meeting, plan it, come up with the themes, the flyers, and just lead it. And I think I wasn't there, unfortunately, but I heard there was a good turnout and it went well. But yeah, do you want to talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that, Nayeli?
So the actual planning of it was very bad. It was very bad. It was planned so last minute. I think the last week we were trying to get people to try and get ideas. We had like 3 different ideas, and I think we didn't hear until like the very end of it, which is no hate to anyone because it was still really fun to plan. When we got it, it was my first time actually designing a flyer to go out on the Instagram, so I was really scared. I was messaging all of my friends, and then I was like waiting to get everything finalized before I sent it to you, but it was fun. And then at the actual meeting, it was like a smaller tone. It looked like it was going to be a small turnout, and we were like, whatever, it's fun, we're here to have fun. And then more people kept coming in, and we're like, oh my god, maybe. And it like ended up filling the room. We ended up running out of like the little what are they called, the little chips.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And it was like good. You got to see how competitive people got. Andrew won like 3 times. Think he
Oh.
cheated,
Super
but
casual,
you
super
know,
casual.
think he cheated personally, but it was a really fun meeting. You got to see everyone. You got to socialize. There were snacks, and we got to take a picture with all the winners. And it was a really fun meeting. I hope we could do something like that again, like just like another bingo night thing, and then probably gamble, quote unquote. But
Oh, gamble. All right. No, yeah, seeing the pictures and Andrew, having that shirt, I'm kind of jealous. I wish I had one of those shirts.
It's a very prized possession of mine now. And it was actually really funny. I remember at the end that they were like, "Oh, this is like how Carlos." He was like, "This is how I do Loteria," and he was just going super fast.
he was
I mean,
slowing it down, actually.
yeah, I bet he was. And I just remember like I just looked at my sheet and I was like, "All right, like this is." I've won enough today, so.
Wow. Okay.
But
He's
no,
just like, I could win again if I wanted to.
right.
Yeah. No, I think that was a good meeting just to kind of shake off some of the things that we students kind of go through. Just a little bit leisure time for that, for sure.
I thought it was also cool that Halo has their own Loteria cards.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
With
know that.
Willie
Yeah,
and-
it was
yeah.
made during COVID, I found out.
Wow,
2020, 2019, one of those two. But
interesting.
Oh,
yeah, it was cool. We have our own Halo cards if you didn't know.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah. And then I think in between at some point we also not me but some of the exec team volunteered for, I think it was called the Habitat for Humanity Restore. I think Andrew,
Yeah.
did you want to talk a little bit about that? I think you were presenting.
Yeah, I think one of the really, really cool things that we get to do at K-State is that K-State's so connected with all these different service organizations. And you see students that are like really passionate about like whether it's food security, whether it's, Habitat for Humanity, whether it's, helping with the emergency shelter, whatever it is, there are spaces for students to do service activities. So getting off that, doing the Habitat for Humanity, it was just hilarious the entire time. Like, I was having such a good time removing doors. They're so heavy. Me, Manuel, and Edwin, it was just nonstop, really. But I think what you get in all of that is that, like, you are all doing this one exercise together. You're providing a good for the community. And you're showing that Halo can be more than just, the general body meetings. It can be this thing where we're actually, going out and doing really good things and helping people that need help. And I really hope that Halo continues doing it. I think it's a great way to get to know people. I got to know Darlene a lot better. Jocelyn, I got to know Manuel, and we end up getting like ramen after. And we were just talking about
Sounds
it
good.
and just like making fun of certain things, had really funny photos. But it was a great time. I think that we as an organization and as students can do more and can help out the community that kind of welcomes us in at K-State, right? And obviously some people have to work and they just don't have the time for it, but I think whenever we can make that time, that's really important.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think volunteering is such a good opportunity for students to just get connected more within each other and just all in all help out a community that, it's for a good cause, I wasn't able to be there, unfortunately, but I'm glad that some people were able to make it there and help out. But man, I really wish ramen did sound good at the time.
It was gas. It was fire.
What place had ramen?
Oh my gosh, it's like this. I don't know what it's called, but they have boba too, and
Crunch
they have
Bear?
yes, Crunch Bear.
Oh my god, I
Crunch
love
Bear.
Yes.
That sounds
It's
like some
so
kind of
good.
dessert shop.
It's a boba shop, but they also have like a restaurant and like a little actual shop behind it. It has cute little like Japanese knickknacks and whatever.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was really cool.
The boba's really good too.
is that an Aggie or where is it?
It's on MLK Drive.
I think Fort Riley Boulevard.
Yeah,
It's off Fort Riley.
Boulevard.
Okay.
Yeah.
You take MLK to get there. But
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out. I haven't seen that before. But
Shout
no,
out.
ramen.
Shout out
I
to
need
Crunch Bear.
I need some
Sponsor
ramen now.
us.
All right, and then we had our collab with BSU. Did you guys attend that one?
I did.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make it. I was out of town, so.
Okay, I wasn't able to make it either, but maybe you can talk a little bit. You being there, Nayeli.
I'd never gone to a BSU meeting. I didn't know they have this little chant that they do at the beginning of it, and I thought that was such a powerful thing because it's like everyone got up in a circle. They greeted people they didn't know, like new members. I was intimidated because it was a lot of people, and I don't like big crowds, but that's a me thing. And anyways, they had this like chant, this little anthem that they had for BSU, and everyone was saying it with like their full chest. They were so passionate about why they were there, and it was such like a beautiful thing to see. And like everyone was really welcoming and really friendly as well. And like being that there weren't a lot of other Halo members there, it was kind of scary because like I didn't see a lot of people that I knew, and some of the Halo members that were there I wasn't close with at the time yet. Like I think Edwin, Darlene were there. I wasn't close with them yet, so I was kind of scared to talk to them. So I just sat in the back with my other friends. But it was really fun. You got to learn more about other cultures, and then I got to learn more about my own culture that I didn't know, and I feel like I should have known.
Oh yeah, I heard there was a good turnout. Rosa told me I ran into her at when she was working at Panda in Union. I was like, man, I missed out.
It was fun. The only thing that would have made it better was snacks.
Oh, of course, snacks. I love snacks. All right, and then I think that was a good chunk of like the meetings we had for this spring semester, and just recently, the Hispanic Food Festival. I think that was
fun.
really good. I was there. Andrew was there. Nayeli was there. We were all there. And no, there was some good food. For those of you listeners, it was a Hispanic Food Festival that kind of featured food from a variety of cultures. And I think that was a good opportunity for people to try food that they didn't know where it came from, right? Because a lot of people think that, they're served the same food consistently of like, oh, tacos. It's like, oh, it comes from there. But, I think every culture has their own spin of like, some Hispanic foods. But I think my favorite thing that we had was the beans. I forgot the
frijoles charros.
yes,
Yes.
frijoles charros. Yes,
Yes.
those that was my favorite thing.
Edwin
I wish
cooked
I
with
didn't.
that.
I forgot to get seconds, but that was good. But what was your favorite thing on that, Andrew?
Obviously, the tostones were fantastic. No, that's what I made from Nicaragua. My abuela's from Nicaragua, so but it was. I mean, I would say outside of that, I don't know. I really liked the burrito. I know it costed more for people, but obviously since I worked the event, it didn't cost more for me. And so I had the burrito. It was very good. And the tres leches was like that. We had a lot. And I always love tres leches whenever I go out to a restaurant or something. Actually, my oldest brother Dan, he always gets tres leches for his birthday, and so like having some of that, reminded me a little bit of home. But yeah, it was such a fun event. Oh my gosh! I mean, just to be able, it happened to fall on Cinco de Mayo, right? So everyone was like, "Oh, this is a Cinco de Mayo thing, right?" And then they see, from Puerto Rico, from Nicaragua, from Mexico as well, but like all of these different places, Venezuela. And so I think it was just a really nice like celebration of culture, and I love food.
Hmm.
Who doesn't?
That's my summary right there.
There you go.
Yeah. I loved the turnout. The line was so long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was crazy. And my favorite dish was the arroz con gandules. My mom makes that when I get home, and it was like such a like I felt a little homesick, but like it was so good. I think it was Jocelyn that served me, and I'm telling her, I'm just like, just give me the whole tray at this point. I don't know who made it, but shout out to whoever made it. That was delicious.
Yeah, for those of you who are listening, we had several cooks kind of make their own dish of like the cultures connected that they kind of align with, and that was kind of the gist of like what that event was that we had not too long ago. And no, I think that was good food, and yeah, it was a good turnout. And yeah, I don't think I tasted everything. I think there was like this. It looked like a pastry, but I think someone told me that it had like ham and something else. Like, did you know what?
Yeah, it was Braulio's dish, the pan con jamon.
Yeah,
pan con
that's
jamon.
yeah. I didn't
It
get a
was
chance to
great.
try that, but I was like, oh, I didn't even know there was ham in that.
I don't like olives, but I ate around them.
You know what?
I thought it was raisins.
See, I don't like olives either, but I think with that specific dish, I was able to stomach it. I mean, it was really great. It like people were asking me like what it was, and I was like trying to like compare. I was like, oh, it's kind of like a croissant with like the ham and cheese inside. But I was like, that feels so. I was like, I shouldn't be selling it short like that. Like it was really with the olives with everything. No, that one was really good.
It was really good. It looked very nice too. Like it was very neatly prepared. That was also the first event that I completely marketed to myself. I made the
You
t-shirts.
did a fantastic job.
Thank you. The t-shirts that still haven't arrived yet.
Yeah.
Which Edwin was telling me about it. It was such a pain because they were supposed to arrive day of, but then they never shipped them. They acted like they never got the order. And I think Edwin called them like 10 different times trying to get that, and he got so much money refunded out of it.
Yeah, he told me, he was like, like when I was picking up the supplies to make the food on Sunday, he was like, yeah, I've been on the phone with them for 4 hours and, getting passed around from different people to different people. I'm like,
damn.
The
That's
patience to be on hold.
that's
for
my
that long.
treasure, baby. That's a tough one.
4 hours. That's 4 hours. That's crazy.
4 hours is
I
crazy.
think I would have hung up after like 15 minutes. I'm
No,
not gonna
me
lie.
too. That's what I was saying.
If I kept getting passed around, I'm like, all right, well, it seems like this team today was not. Whoever answered this employee is not, not having a good
No,
time, I guess.
I would see him on campus around, and I'm like, oh, who are you calling? Is it another sponsor? He's like, nope, Custom Ink. I'm on hour 3, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, no free plug for Custom Ink. They screwed us. No, I'm kidding.
That's not good. I didn't know about that until he told me, but yeah. I think a good turnout for sure. I like that one, and that was kind of the gist of what we had. Didn't mention we had the Valentine's meeting as well, where we did some cookie decorating, origami making, and just sharing love. Of course, to your partners and who you call the one. But I think it's important also for that to be. It's not just the person that you love, but also like your friends and family. Like share love and appreciate them. Because I think maybe it could be maybe you guys think differently, but sometimes it could be viewed as a holiday of like maybe people feel like alone, like oh man, I don't got nobody or something like that. But I think it's much more than just like loving your partner and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And then we also had one of our meetings that was about elections, electing the new executive team members for the academic school year 2025-2026. And yeah, that was a while back. And yeah, the presentations were amazing. I really enjoyed listening people and just like their passion of like running and why they thought they were good for the position. And it just reminded me when I had to do that. Like a year ago, I was like, oh, it feels good that like, oh, I don't have to be the end of the stick of like, presenting, because it can be, a bit nervous. I know, Nayeli, you presented, and I'm not sure how you felt about it in the moment, but no, I think a lot of people, regardless of how the turnout is, whether they were elected or not, I think everybody did a good job in their presentations and stuff. But
Yeah, this new exec team is stacked. That's what I'm gonna say. Is that I think we have a lot of. I was telling Daniel Polanco about it because I was transitioning him. I was like, we have a lot of people who see what we've been doing and they want us, keep our traditions, keep our stuff, but have so many new ideas, and so many different ways to approach different programming, and obviously trying to get people to Ushli and get Belleza Latina. I think it's so great that we have people that want to do better, because that's ultimately what it is, right? I mean, Halo's been around for quite a bit, and I think after every single year, the idea is that we become a stronger organization in membership, but also in what our mission is, which is to to inspire Hispanic leaders at K-State. So I'm really I'm bummed out that I'm going to be leaving, but like I know that it's just in such good hands with this new exec team, and I know that they're just gonna do a really fantastic job next year. I'm jealous,
yeah, yeah, no, I feel you there, because yeah, it's just such a weird feeling, because like you've been in college your whole life, and it's just like now that you're at the end of the road for this chapter, right? And at least it's like, oh man, it's like it's a little bit surreal in a sense. But yeah, we did a lot. We did a lot for Halo this school year. We brought a lot of good events for students, a lot of volunteering, and just bringing up topics that needed to be talked about. And I think, of course, some things kind of didn't happen or didn't come into fruition because of like some unforeseen circumstances. But I hope events like Ushli and the pageant event continues and goes on and stuff like that. And just to wrap up these last few minutes, I kind of want to get each of you guys' perspective of like one thing that you're kind of proud of like being in Halo, and like what this being in this position kind of did for you. Do you want to start, Andrew, on that?
Yeah. No. So I was really honored. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I won the Multicultural Leadership Award from the Alumni Center. And it got me thinking about a lot of the things that I have done during my time at K-State, not only, to advance, improvements in student life, but towards Hispanic students especially. And one thing that really like kind of stuck out with, or I guess two things, is that when I entered Halo, I was really scared. I was really I came in with, one of my friends, and she knew people in the organization, and I was just I was like, I'm just that white guy, right? Like I don't know, I felt that way, right? And it's ridiculous to say now, because I feel like I'm very well I'm connected with the people that are in Halo within our exec team and beyond, but I don't know, it just gave me there was such a sense of belonging that I felt when I came to Halo. That's I think what really inspired me to do certain things and to advocate for Hispanic students, because especially, I know people hate talking about it in politics and such, but like, especially during a time that it feels like are these programs that are kind of created to have people express their multiculturalism, and, college is this, melting pot of ideas, and like in trying to improve that, inspire other people. And like I would have not felt the same sense of belonging without those programs, and so I think if I have to say anything, right, towards future Hispanic students that attend K-State is that, you know, come to Halo, obviously, right? But keep fighting for, you know, the programs that we have that are meant to have more Hispanic students come here, more Hispanic students graduate, and go on to be professionals in whatever career they might have, because that can so easily be taken away. And so I'm really proud that we, you know, for 4 years, I was a part of Halo. I was able to contribute to the exec team. That was really awesome, and getting a little look behind the scene, like Nayeli said. And I'm really excited for what Halo's going to bring in the future. I know it's going to be tough for me to like not be as connected to it anymore. But like I previously said, I mean, it's in extraordinary hands, the people that we're going to have in leadership. And so, yeah, just keep that core value. It's all about advancing, you know, and creating Hispanic leaders that will soon go on to do fantastic things, and that people can feel really scared in college and come out of it feeling empowered to do the things that they really care about.
Yeah, right on. It is in a sense of like a bittersweet moment, like when you just kind of reflect back of like all the moments that you had. And I think you brought a lot of good things with Halo, especially the mentor mentee program. I think that was wonderful. And yeah, I think the legacy program as well. That was another thing that I think really puts and connects Halo to a lot of students that maybe didn't think Halo was a thing until, you know, they heard about it, right?
Right.
But yeah, what about you, Nayeli? I know you're not an intern no more, but you know, how was it for you being an intern throughout the year?
It really gave you like a sense of community. I felt like I had more people that I could rely on that looked like me, that were Hispanic, because entering here, of course, it's a PWI. You don't see a lot of people that can speak Spanish or look like you. So going to a club where it's full of other Hispanics is like, it's such a surreal experience when you're so used to that, coming to a place where you don't see it anymore. It's like I was doing so much research on my drive here, trying to find every little Hispanic shop I could find, seeing what opportunities that I could be given and to meet other Hispanics. And from what I've seen, I've only mostly seen it in like the Mexican community, is like once you enter a higher education, it's like everyone seems semi-standoffish. Like if I met a Hispanic that wasn't in Halo out in the public, they wouldn't. It's like they kind of look at you like you're a competition, which like again is no hate. It's just kind of how I understand people grew up like that. So being able to go to Halo and meeting so many new people, seeing how friendly everyone is, and like you guys did an amazing job at the club. I enjoyed it. All the work you guys did to it, it shows how passionate you guys were, and yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I even know how to kind of go off on that. I think, yeah, like I said, on the things that didn't, you know, end up happening usually in the patch, I think we did the best that we could in the circumstances that we were kind of finding, right? And yeah, it's just like you kind of make the best of it. You know, some things don't go according to plan, and it's just, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm glad that it seems like you enjoyed your time being an intern, and now being the new marketing media director for Halo.
Yeah.
Hey. Yes. For me, I would say, man, I don't think I wouldn't say I would have never, but I only knew Halo because I had a friend when I was transferring here to K-State, 2023 fall, that was also going to K-State, and he talked about, hey, like, this is Halo. It's kind of similar to this club that, you know, the college we just left, like, you should come. And then I came, and, like, you know, being in a new state, and this was like when I moved to K-State, it was my first time being alone, being independent, right? So it was like a lot of new experiences for me. And yeah, I just like, I remember that first meeting still vividly, of like coming in and like the room being filled up so much, right? And people that I'd even know, like I don't know anybody there because I just got there, and over time after going to like the meetings and meeting the exec team, and shortly, but nonetheless, I didn't even think of this. Became an intern. I didn't think I was going to do that. But after attending Usually 2024 in February, and getting closer with the exec team, for people that don't know, Usually is the United States, right?
Hispanic Leadership
Hispanic.
Institute.
Yes. What Andrew said. Yes, and basically it's where our conference that takes place in Chicago once a year, where a lot of Hispanic Latinx community members come together. People, diversity, come into Chicago to talk about just things that are kind of going on with into just things that are going on in the world, and having workshops, helping students find jobs, right, or continue into school. And I think usually it was an opportunity for me to get to know a lot of people, and of course, to explore Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And where, nonetheless, usually is when they convinced me to become an intern. I was like, intern, no, I don't really want to do that. And then next thing you know, I'm like, all right, I'm already attending the meeting, so here I am. And then becoming an intern, and then running for marketing media, and then becoming the marketing media director, and then now I'm here. I think my beginning purpose was, before I even started to attend Halo, was like, I wanted to be a mentor, a figure in a sense for the generations to come, right? That are going to be, the next exec team and the one after that. And, my sisters, right? They look up to me, and I want to show a good example. And so I remember that's like the statement I made when I became an intern. Like, I want to, kind of just like show like someone, an Hispanic, right? That can do these things that, maybe some people feel hesitant to do, right? Uh, and then with being the marketing media director, I brought the podcast. Right, here we are. That was a really cool thing, and a project that I'm proud that I brought back that I brought into Halo, because I heard that previous ones were just throwing that idea, and I'm glad I was able to bring it this school year. And I think it's weird that like time flies, man. Like, I remember that first meeting we had back in fall, and then now we're here, and already like a week left until the semester ends. And so I'm proud of like the things that I did. Halo has given me a lot of opportunities and just experiences that I nonetheless would ever had if I didn't take chances and like really do something, get out of my comfort zone, which I did quite a bit as I got integrated into the exec team. And just meeting new people. Like, I just sounds like a bit cliche, but like I love meeting new people. As much as like maybe that's thrown around, it's like the fact that I get to meet another person that, like, in a sense, that I even know existed. Sometimes, like, when you first meet them, like, oh, like this is cool, right? I think there's always that awkward phase of like when you're getting to know somebody, but after you kind of get the awkward phase of getting to know more each other, then that's when you really make that connection pretty, good. But no, I am excited for what's in store for next year. And I don't know why I didn't open up with this, but Nayeli Martinez is going to be our new marketing media director for next school year. And I'm excited to see what you guys have in store for the podcast, and nonetheless for Halo. And so, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this. It feels weird. I'm gonna keep saying it feels weird, but it does. And no, I'm really proud of like how far this has come. Not just the podcast, but just Halo, right? It's like each team brings something different, and then I think it's important to like keep the traditions and the things that previous exec teams have brought into Halo, and then I don't know, and just kind of leave. I don't know, leave your mark in a sense of like the accomplishments we've done for the students and the community. But that's gonna be it for this recording, and that's gonna be my last recording as the marketing meeting director. But I don't know. Sorry, I'm like processing this. I'm like, I don't know how to end this, because usually I do my thing, but it's like it's strange nonetheless. But
do you mind if I say something?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
I had a little thing prepared, but I forgot it. So so it's hold on, give me a minute.
You're so fun. Yeah. I was gonna say, no, what? You've done an excellent job, man. I mean, really. And I remember when you came to your first Halo meeting last year, and I remember all the really positive interactions I had with you, and I was like, this guy's gonna be a great marketing director, and you were. So like, I don't know what type of gratification that can get you, but I mean, you should feel very proud of the work that you've done within Halo. So
I appreciate that.
You both did an amazing job. If it wasn't for your programs, I wouldn't even be here probably.
really
If it
appreciate
wasn't for your teachings, I don't think I would have run for marketing. I don't think I would have stayed in Halo that much. And all of the other graduates that are leaving Halo, not leaving officially, because
Halo member for life.
it's like a frat or sorority thing. You're just in it forever. But I applaud you all for your work. You guys have done an amazing job, and I hope you can leave knowing that Halo is left in like good hands. And I hope you still listen to the podcast after you leave, because I have fun things that I hope I can do. And it would be great to know that you're still listening even if you don't get to be recording anymore. But congratulations to you both. You guys get to now join the 33% of Hispanics that graduate college. It's an amazing achievement. You guys have done so much with balancing schoolwork and Halo, bringing it to where it's at now. It's honestly, I can't thank you guys enough for like keeping the club going. I know after people go, it's like it feels like you guys have probably had mentors before you became execs, and I can imagine it was overwhelming to take on the role, but you've done so much with it. Edwin isn't here, but he also did so much, having to go with being treasurer and like creating fundraisers. I don't think I could ever imagine that. I would have the fear of it flopping, and it's like there's so much weight on it, but you guys have done it, and you've gone on with great confidence. Like, if I didn't work behind the scenes, I would have thought you guys had it planned out for months rather than like it being a slip of the wrist. But I hope you can trust the podcast is in good hands.
No, yeah, for sure. I with your presentation that you showed, I am excited to see, and of course, I'm going to be listening as always.
This is my Stairmaster podcast, so I'm on the Stairmaster. I listen to this, so trust me, I always tune in. That was very sweet.
Yes,
I
that was really
appreciate
sweet.
that.
Thank you for that, Nayeli. And then it's gonna be it. So you can listen on YouTube and Spotify. That's where we're at. You can check that out. And and congratulations to all those that are graduating as well, all the students. It's not an easy thing to do, but yet here we are, and I'm excited to see what the future has. So for all of us, and that's gonna be it. So until next time, we'll see you then.